Today we are going to do a practical session. Yesterday I have explained some basic about the BA process, and today we are going to discuss about the practically how we can implement a case study in Azure cloud from with the different services. Okay. So whoever has not received the last session recording or the mail, you please share your details. We'll start the class in bit moment. Okay. So meantime, please drop me your details in the chat box. Your name, your phone number.
Pavan, we couldn't hear you. If you're speaking, you are on mute.
No, I'm on mute. Let's wait for another few minutes. We'll start the class. Okay.
Yeah, we didn't
I'm
hear
just
that.
waiting
So
for others.
fine.
We'll start the class
Yeah.
in few minutes. All right. So in the last session, we discussed about some basic topic about the BA and how it works in real time, the end-to-end process. Okay. How the business companies are required the data and how the data will flow from application to storages to as a ETL process. As a data engineer, we do the ETL processing, extract those data, transforming it, cleaning it, applying some logics on top of that, making some unwanted restricted, which is not required the data. Then we are finally loading the data to the data warehouse systems, OLAP system we call generally. So as a non-technical people, it feel like a new terminologies, but believe me, wherever you go, the data side, it is the same naming. No change in the naming, complete the whole career will be same name. So for now, it will be difficult to understand what is data merge, data warehouse, data systems. It is a common names where we use in the data processing. Okay. So don't worry, I'm going to help you on that. When we start our classes, we'll see the different storages. Okay. So to bring the data in a proper structure format, proper information, we required this all flow. BA process we call end-to-end BA process we call. Where end-to-end BA process, in that we do data engineer part, data analyst part, data scientist part, different roles we have. So designations in companies, don't worry about the designation, sir. I'm only a ETL developer. I'll be getting only data engineer. No, sometimes in companies they might give you consultant. If you go Capgemini, based on your experience, they'll consider consultant. Some companies will give you senior BI developer. Some companies will use modern data tool engineer or some ETL developer. Different companies have different designations, but we always need to focus on the roles and responsibilities. Is that roles and responsibilities what you are doing is matching or not? That is more important because we are going to work whatever the designation they give you based on your experience. Some companies they go with the bands in MNCs. Okay. All right. So uh, we'll see today practically how it easy when we go with the on-premises. See, yesterday I told you in on-premises you need to set up it a big thing. You require all the services you need to purchase. You need to purchase the license. You need to have a infrastructure first of all. In that infrastructure, you have to set up the all systems. A data centers is required. For data center also, it is a big place. You need to maintain in a particular temperature. If something is goes wrong, then the data will be corrupted. Dedicated 24 by 7 team is required to handle that kind of data management. Then again, ETL tools you need to install in. Earlier, what happened? We have a different ETL tools. Whether you take Informatica, Data Stage, Glue, SSIS, you need to install it. Different versions you have to install. On different versions, you have to every year you might get a new version. You have to upgrade it. You have to make upgradation. So there may be a chance of lot of things. Packages may work, packages may not work. Some packages may get corrupted. You have to rebuild it. So a lot of things are there in on-premises. Moreover is costing, SQL Server, database. Again, it is high cost when you go and purchase license based, key user based, how many key users you require. Key user based, we will be purchasing the license and it is costly again. When you go to the Microsoft, they will give you support definitely from Microsoft, but again, it is a license based. So this all we can overcome in a cloud. So till how much you're going to store, how much you're going to use, how much going to run, only you have to pay for the amount. That is we call as pay as you go service. So what happened generally when you go to the Netflix, Amazon Prime, they'll give you first month free services, right? And after next month, if you want a premium services, what they will do? They will charge. The same way Microsoft have a free account. Microsoft have different accounts. First is free account. We call as free subscription, which is Microsoft giving you 200 USD dollars because I told you this is a one type of store, one type of cloud, public cloud, where you're going to purchase all type of services there. So we call here in on-premises each service as a softwares, but there in cloud we call resources, group, resources, services. So we don't call as software there. So to purchase any kind of, whether you want to purchase the ETL, whether you want to purchase the databases, data marts, or storages, a different type of storages, virtual machines, VM, whatever you want to purchase, you need to pay the amount to the Microsoft. So for initial stage, Microsoft giving you 200 USD dollars, that is for month, 1 month or 30 days, you can utilize the 200 USD dollars, around 17,000 credit in INR in Indian rupees. So Microsoft giving you for a free trial, go and elaborate your services, your project, and 200 USD dollars they're providing you. In that 200 USD dollar, we can practice. Or if you don't have, again, one more service they are providing is called student account. In that, they are providing you 100 USD dollars. 100 USD dollars they're providing. There is a one more subscription which companies use called, even we use also, pay as you go. This is monthly basis or yearly basis, quarterly basis billing to Microsoft. So how much you use, pay the amount that much. To create this account, see, to start, we even the start with the Azure also, we just require three things. One is you required account, that is Microsoft account. That is nothing but your Azure account. Next is required your internet. Third is required a system to start your Azure work. So in this one, in Azure, again, we have two portals because everything we are working under the portals. One is azure.com, where you can create your accounts. You can go through the services. You can see what is the news, new things are there. That all details will show you in azure.com. Or creation of account, creation of other things, we can go with the azure.com. The complete development we call here as azure dot sorry portal.azure.com. Just before the azure.com, we are adding as portal. In that portal, the entire development we are doing it end to end, entire development we are doing it based on your services, resources, groups. End-to-end development we are doing it. So this is the portal where we are going to work complete end-to-end process. The entire project we're going to develop. This is a technical which I have shown you, and the same picture if you see graphically, if you see this picture, it's clear, show you what we are going to do. We're going to create a service. We required storages. This is my application, web application, which is bringing the data, which is storing the data in the storage account. From this storage account, we need to extract the data by using a concept called data factory, ETL, data engineer tool. With this tool, we need to extract the data. The data may be any format: structure, semi-structure, unstructured, JSON, XML, Parquet, TXT, TSV, tab separated value, comma separated, anything. We need to extract, we need to load. So the question here is, sir, why we are loading the data from this to this? What is the use of loading this one? Anyone know why we are loading the data? Okay, it is a data engineer process. You are extracting the data, you're loading it. But what is the purpose of loading it?
So you're transforming the data, whereas in the first stage you just raw data.
Okay, let's take with a structured data is there instead of raw data only. Raw also, it's a structured data. Even structure also, you're trying to load the data in the data SQL. What is the use? Okay, you said is raw data, that is okay. But in raw also, it is a structured data. Let's take example. This is my raw data.
Yeah, you have transform data, right? You said copy and transform.
Mm. Copy and transform.
You
So
have in
copy and transform, what it means, I didn't understand.
you
This
have
is
that
my raw
copy and
data.
transform.
This is my raw data. Can't you easily understand by seeing this data? Can we
No,
understand easily?
no. Yeah, I mean, it's
Why
not readable
can't?
form.
It's not readable format. How come? How come, boss? It's not in readable format. How
Probably
come?
you cannot put a relationships right in this one. You cannot create any relationships.
Okay, relationships. Any other thing? If my client is asking from this data, Can you give me the country wise their salary and their employees summary? My client is asking, you're getting the data from the system, or you have data here, you have data, raw data here. My client is sitting somewhere, is asking this with this data, just provide me, sorry, just provide me the country that is nothing but your address wise, the sum of the aggregation sum of the salaries I want to know and their employees IDs. That means employees ID counts each country. Let's suppose it's the India country. The sum of salary is something 3 lakhs. Their employees are some 200. And we provide this data with this what we required in this relationship.
Can, but you have to do it by line, right?
Line by line, we have to search. Line by line, we have to figure out where is the India country. Okay, India is here. Let me first calculate. Take a calculator, right? We'll take a calculator and we'll do this one. India, India, where is India? I'll search India. And then after India is completed, okay, it is a up to 10 records you do, 10, 50 records you do, to you are very good at, you will do 100 records, very good at, you can do 200. Can you do for a lakhs of records like this? How much time it will eat?
So time consuming.
Time consuming, lakhs of records. Every day we get lakhs of record. Every day we get 10 lakhs record. Every day we get millions of records. Time consuming. Sir, why you will do this one? I'll do the best way. My other friend will tell, take the Excel. I'll show you how to do this one. Why you will do manually? Put in Excel and do the pivot. Right? Put in the pivot. What is a comma separator? You have put it comma separator. Now tell me what you want. I'll give you the data. You want country-wise data? Let's take a country-wise. Why you will do it manually? I'll give you this way. Just a minute of work. See, this is aggregated data. This is what you want. Simple way. Canada having this almost record. You want to search? Go and search. Almost there are 6 employees are there in Canada. Can we filter out here? Let's filter out. My other non-technical people, they know the Excel. They'll do it. Only 6 employees are there in this one. If I aggregate this one, this is the value I'm getting. 276, 276,800. This is aggregated data like client is required. Then what is the use again? What is the use again by doing this? See, whatever you are doing, any requirement, is it really required? Think first. Is it required for a business? Is it anything benefit to the business? Anything getting help to the business? End of the day, they'll take the decisions with that data. Okay, this is proper data you're showing. But I'll tell you now, Excel team, can you do the 10 lakhs records in Excel? Your Excel itself, max to max, it will hold 5 to 10 lakhs, not more than that. If you put pivot for 5 lakhs also, it will simply gone. It will simply take your complete processor, it will eat. And you can store max to max 10 lakhs also. Max to max 10 lakh. Not more than that records you can store in Excel. Okay, this is one time is okay. Every day, can you do this manual work? You cannot do the manual work every day, and you cannot store a millions of records here. Every day you cannot do the manual work. We need to somewhere automate it. If the records are millions and trillions, whatever it is, and every day you are getting 1 lakh, okay, an average 1 lakh you take. So almost 30 days, you have a 30 lakhs. From 30 lakhs, you have to do the aggregations. Summary. You cannot do in the Excel. Not possible. Not at all possible. It completely eats your memory. Very simple process. Very simple process. Extract it, store in one box. The database is nothing but a kind of box where you are every day dumping the data. And this box will only understand one language called SQL language. Whatever the input you give in select queries, whatever the input, whatever the question you ask to this box, it will reply you with aggregations, with whatever the data you want, with filter, everything it will provide you. This SQL database is nothing but it kind of box where you dumping every day the data. and it stores a structured format data. Immediately it will give you a fast response. You don't need to do any manual work. So that is whatever the operations you do, but end of the day, we always go with structured data. Remember this, whatever the data it is backend. If I raw data, let's come back here in JSON format. Let's come back in XML format. If I give this format to the reporting team, they'll not understand. Again, they'll put a relationships there. They'll keep a relationship. They'll put a cardios. They'll put a one-to-one operations, many to many, many to one. They'll keep a model there. They'll develop a model there. There's no use doing there. Why can't we do previous only? We'll do it here itself. These all operations. We will provide a reporting very easy way. We will help them in very easy way to quickly access, because your client will not wait till your query runs. Your client is required a fast response report. The moment you open the report, it should be refreshed. So the report is nothing but all are nothing but a SQL queries. The report is nothing but a SQL queries. Whenever you hit to the report backend, it hits the database and it runs and give you a response back. So that is what we are doing. We are making the process is easy. As a BI developer, we are making a process very easy for our end users, even for the report developers. That is what nowadays they are asking ETL developer, ETL knowledge with having a, if you are going with a reporting tool, then must you need to know the ETL knowledge. Why? I'll tell you now. Okay. So data may be anywhere, whether it's a raw data, whether it's a structured data, whether it's a on-premises data. On-premises data also we can extract with a concept called gateway, because this is completely different. Your system is completely different. Your system have different firewalls. Cloud is different, public network. It requires some bridge between both of connectivities. So we can extract still. Okay. So let's see how to develop this requirement. So this is one of the requirement. This daily basis requirement we get like this. You have to be ready with your pipeline, data pipeline. So what we want in this to develop, we required a storages, we required ETL tool, we required database. These three services are required in Azure. These all are Azure concepts. Okay, Azure Storage Account, Azure Data Factory, Azure SQL Database. Now let's see how easily I can create this all in cloud. I no need to install in on-premises. I have to install software. I have to install software. I have to install softwares. So here, very simple. Let's log into the portal. Let's go to the browser and log in azure.com. This is a place where you're going to create your accounts. Okay, get started with account, or you can create a simple account, whether it is a free account, whether it is a pay as you go account. So we always practice with pay as you go, but you have to practice with free account. Otherwise, if you want to pay monthly basis billing, you do it, not a problem. But Microsoft giving you free account, why can't you use it? Okay. So this is my free account. What are the services they're giving you? What are the free services? What are the other services? All it is going to give you in detail. And pay as you go, monthly basis billing, pay only of what you use. Remember this. Okay. And it is valid for 30 days. Now to sign up, click on sign up or try for free. Or I can log in directly to the portal, which I'm already having account, portal.azure.com. This is the place where we go and develop our requirements. This is the requirement I'm going to develop now. Very simple. Just see here. Don't worry how to create, how to manage everything. I'll show you in detail level in the class. But for now, let's see here. Step by step, what we required. First, we required storage account. Can we create storage account? Very simple. Just search. Don't worry, all this panel. I'm going to help you with these all panels. For time being, I'm just using a search box. This is very useful box. Even the sub module also that it will get it out. Okay. So just search storage account. What do you want? A blob storage. Can I select a blob here? Blob storage account. It's so showing the keywords that blob is inside a storage account. Okay, click continue. Very simple. In one page, we can create our Google Drive. How you create Google Drive? You require Gmail account. Here also have an account. In Google Drive, what we do? We store our images, photos, documents. Where it will save? Anyone know where it will save? Backend. Microsoft giving you how much GB? 15 GB. Sorry, Google is giving you 15 GB. Where it will save? We don't know. Backend, they use some data centers. Here also you can select your own data center. So this is my project name is Vinay Tech. My project name is Vinay Tech Azure Demo Resource Group. This is my project. My storage account is Vinay Tech Blob Storage Account. Physical data center wherever you required. Wherever you want, you create a physical data center. So don't select, sir, I'm India, I'll keep in India only. No. Where is your project is, where your project is hosting, where your applications are hosted, nearby locations to avoid a traffic. Okay. As recommended for timing for a practicing, we always go with East US location for practicing. So what type of data storage you want? Just blob or a data lake? Again, data lake is separate storage concept or Azure files. I want blob. Okay, what is premium, what is standard, what is a backup, everything we'll discuss in detail in coming class. Don't worry, because in 1 hour of class, I cannot complete everything. So we required some classes to complete all this topic. So one by one, I'll cover in the next coming classes. Okay. Simple page. What I did, I given my project name, I've given my storage name, I selected the location, I select the blob I want. Simply, I required a backup redundancy. That's it. Click create. In one page, you are started creating a storage account and start loading the data here, getting the data, raw data. How we are getting the raw data? By your application team. Your application team, we will provide a control on the storage account. We will provide the access keys. We provide the SAS keys. We provide the connection strings, and we provide other operations to process the data in the storage account. They will do that. Your job is to get the data first here. Once the data is getting here, then we'll start my process. My job is not to develop the application. My job is not to get the data from the application. My job is to, once the data is staged here, my work will start. Okay, this is my source. For time being, this is my source. This is my target. For that, I am developing a pipeline. Okay, storage is getting created. It is created. See, deployed successfully. Deployment successful only through notification. What is happening backend? What is dependency tools you need? Nothing is required. In on-premises, if you installing .NET is not there, framework is not there, other things are not there, it will fail. Softwares are not up to date, it will fail. But here, nothing. Microsoft will take care about all these things. Go to the resource group. And this is my blob storage, blob service. And here I'm going to create one container, nothing but a folder. This is my what is it, raw data or logs. It's going to hold in this folder. Can we upload a file? Yes, upload your documents, images, photos, however you want, you download or upload it. From here, I want to copy the data file, practice data. Don't worry, I'm going to give you this samples data files. You can practice the sample data files. And we have this file and you want to share with someone. Yes, definitely you can share with someone, like how you provide access to the Google Drive. You can provide it. This is my data. And this data we have to process. Okay, let's see what is done. We created with this one. Can we go and create this one? And this is also pending. Let's go and create. So I can use parallel tabs also. See here, the benefit is in normally in on-premises, one you installing it, other you cannot install another tool. But here you can see I can add as many as tabs, as many as tabs. Parallelly, I can deploy. Parallelly, I can deploy in both the tabs. Here I'm deploying the SQL database. Here I'm deploying the data factory. I'll create a SQL database. No, still executing. Okay. So here is already my project is there. Vinay Tech Azure demo. I want which customer database, database name, your server name, Vinay Tech SQL server, user ID, password. Generally, what you do when you install in your on-premises, sir, we will install the setup file. We'll download a setup file, right? The step-by-step process, what we do? We first go through the Google, we will download the versions of a setup file. Then we will run the setup file. We will plan the installations. We will go step by step. My all Microsoft tools has to be updated. If not, it will throw me error. And this all step by step we do. And then finally we install the evaluation edition, developer edition, or you have an enterprise, you go with the production keys. This is all you do step by step. These are all steps you have to follow. Then finally it's going to install. Where it is installing, providing a user ID, password. Then finally it will get installed in C drive. Where we are installing here, after providing user ID and password, we are installing in a particular location called East US again. So your C drive, how much GB? Let's take 500 GB. If tomorrow data is there, more 1 TB, what will happen? Your C drive completely get crashed. Can you increase more 500 GB? Yes, sir, we can increase. I'll do a partition. I'm good at in partition. My another drive have a 500 GB. I'll add here as more 500 GB. Okay. Again, next day, what happened? You required 1 TB. What do you do that time? You have any other partition now? No, we don't have partition now. Then you will fail in on-premises. But here in cloud, today you have a 1 GB. You can go with 1 GB. Tomorrow you want to increase 2 GB, you can increase very simple 2 GB. Sir, I want to use 500 GB, I can increase to 2 GB to 500 GB, 50 GB, 100 GB. Anytime scale in and scale down. Anytime in scale in and scale down. If this is not sufficient, go with high business requirements. Anytime you can scale in and scale down. Okay. Sir, today I selected 2 GB. Can I decrease? Yes, definitely you can decrease. I selected 1 GB. Later I can increase 1 more GB. I'm selecting 1 GB only. Okay. So review and create. Very simple. Don't worry about the pricing. I'll discuss in the regular class. This is not going to charge 400. It is charged very minimum amount. It is giving you estimated per month. Okay. What happened? Still browser is running. So I'll create data factory also here. Parallelly, I'll create. So this is running. Let it get deployed. Parallelly, we'll create our ETL tool. Very, very important tool. This is a data factory test. My data factory name. There are two versions of data factory. Old version is version 1. And now we have a only concept called version 2. No other versions. Review and create. Okay. This is also deploying. It is deploying. And this is also getting deployed. Right. Anything is left? Storage is ready. Raw file is ready. It is getting created. This is also getting created. Can we develop a data pipeline inside this one? Yes. Let's see. Data factory is created. This is very, very important tool. Okay. In my project, this is my project.
All right, I'm audible, guys. So there was a power off. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah. 1 second. Let me share the screen. Okay, so actually there was a power off. Let me share the screen. All right. Okay, so where we are at deployment got failed because of power off. What happened? No issues, but backend it started executing, it is deployed. Okay, even it is my power off also. We'll see whether it is created or not. Okay, data factory is ready. Storage is already there. SQL Server is created and it is state deployment. Okay, let's see here. SQL Server. Inside SQL Server, we added one database. Can we have database? Yes. So this is my customer DB, which having you know it required monitor. You can see here how much GB is allocated, how much GB is available. 1 GB. Can we increase this storage to 2 GB? Yes, we can easily. We can increase to compute storage. And inside a compute storage, based on your requirement, increase and decrease in very simple scale in and scale down process and apply. Now you can go and see it is a scaling and scale down. You can change to, it is changed to 2 GB more. That is almost 2 GB. Clear? Now see here. So it is deployed successfully, right? Now what we will do, we'll go to the data factory now. Where is my data factory? Very simple service. Very, very important service. This is my tool, development tool here. So what is the requirement? Requirement is here from blob to this we have to load. So for that we need to create one inside a data factory. Data pipeline we have to create. Okay. So data pipeline, if you create, it required a connection here. It required a connection. So if you see, this is a internal picture of this one. Where is the internal picture? This is the internal picture of data factory. The moment I open the data factory, this is my data factory. I'm going to develop one pipeline, right click, create a new pipeline. Don't worry about this option, we're going to discuss. Now, what is the pipeline? The pipeline purpose is to load the data from the blob storage to Azure SQL database is my pipeline name. What operation you want to do? I want to do the copy data operations, load data operations. What copying the data? Copying the data from the blob, the raw data to your structured data in database tables. And what is my source? This is my source. And this is my target. So for that, it required a data set. Is a mandatory. If you see internal picture, what I did, I selected the copy data activity. Copy data activity required data set. Data set is required link service. Link service is required access keys. This is the flow. You have a data in the blob storage. How you going to get the data in the data factory? You require connections. You require connections. With the connections only we can do. So what I will do, I'll go to this connection. I'll create a new connection. So this is what the importance of your data factory. You have lot of many other sources, lot of any other activities, connections. So this you not require any third party to go and use. We can directly access from the data factory many other connectivities we have. more connections we have in your data factory. So we want now the data is in the blob storage. Just search here, it's blob, Azure blob. Here is my blob storage. Click continue. And what sort of format it is? The file, just go and check the file in which format. In CSV format, TXT format, JSON format, select those format. Click continue. Select that format, continue. Simple. And this is my source blob data set with a connection I want to create as a new connection. The connection here is, that is your blob connection. Okay, don't worry about the connections. Very simple. In the subscription we have an account, Vinay Tech blob storage. That's it. Click test connection and click on continue. Click on continue. Click on create. Clear? Click on OK. The connection is ready. Connection is ready. So see here, the connection is ready. Can you see the data? Don't worry of this option. Just preview the data. Check the data is correct or not. Data got failed. Why it got failed? It got failed. Are we created proper data file? Okay, file we didn't select it. Let me select the file. So I didn't selected the file. That is what it's not showing any data. Now we have a file. Import the schema from the connection and just preview the data now. This is the data we want. Okay, what is your target? Target is your database. Target is your database. Here you have a database. Can you see this database? Can we access in our local? So to access SQL database, anyone know what platform we use to use the SQL database or to write a queries? Which platform we use? Anyone know? To run your SQL queries, which platform we use? So our data is in the not in on-premises. Our data in the Azure SQL database. Click continue. Click continue. This is my SQL table. I want a new connection. Very simple. What is your server? My server here is in the subscription. My server Vinay SQL server. Database is customer database. Username, password, and test the connection. Anyone know what we use to write a SQL query? Which platform we use? There are many platforms. So the common platform here is we use here is SSMS, right? Where is the notepad? So the common platform we use to run your SQL statement, we use a SQL Server Management Studio. That is generally we call SSMS. And you have Azure Data Studio. There also you can connect your databases. And sir, I don't want to install any on-premises tools. then no problem. Microsoft giving you here itself. Microsoft giving you here itself a concept called query editor. Just log in with a query editor. Very simple. You don't want to install any on-premise tool? No, don't install. Here only you can practice database, tables, procedures. You want to create table? I'll create table. That is customer ID, customer table. And here is sorry, customer ID, customer name, customer salaries or customer amount or revenue, and country. That's it. I'll create one table. Can you see? I don't have any data. I don't have any data. Now I am going to load the data in this table by using, I just created a table. If you remember, I just created a table. Can I call the table customer table? Yes. Click OK. That's it. Do the mappings. Import the mappings. Mapping is very, very important in ETL side, guys. Now wrongly it will mapped. ID we don't require, but still ID was mapped to the CID. EID is mapped wrongly to the customer name. That is wrong. And customer data is going to load in the customer name. That is wrong. So properly map it. Customer nothing but employee name. This name is mapping to the revenue. That is wrong. Salary should be mapped to the revenue. Address to be mapped to the country. That's it. That's it. Validate. No issues. Then start loading the data. Let's debug. Debug nothing but loading the data. So we extracted the data. We extracted the data. We not required for staging now. We are just loading the data into the data with us. Staging nothing but in case you want to do some operations, transformations, you want to clean the data, you want to keep only required data to be passed to the data warehouse, then we use the staging area. Now the data is processed to the data warehouse. See, success. Can we see the picture? What it's showing the information? Azure Blob Storage, which is in the East US location, was processed successfully the data to the Azure SQL database, which is there in the East US. The data read, data write is happened, date rows records, rows written, the connections used, how much duration it is used, how much through output used, how much data integration it is used, all it is showing you in detail. Can we see, go and see whether the data is properly processed or not? 54 records are showing you. Can I run now? Can you see the counts? Counts. How much counts it is? 54. Can I write the same Excel? What you've shown in the Excel, will do it here. What is it? Country wise, sum of revenue we want as revenues, and the employees IDs count as counts. Group by country. That's it. This is what we got in result, right? Can I have 6 records? Where is the Excel? Excel. Did I close it? This is what we have shown, right? How much records? Can I have 6 records? 19, level 18. The same values. And this is not looking good that way. If you want to build, I can build the graphs. You have in Excel only. In Excel only different graphs you have. You can build. No, sir, I want to connect to the reporting. Yes, definitely you can connect. You can do the schedule instead of doing the manually work in the Excel. We can do the automation tool by connecting your reporting tools. That is your Power BI, Tableau, ClickView, SSRS. Based on your interest, based on your company, provide you. We will be working in that tool. But where is your data now? The data in Azure SQL. So what is their Azure SQL? Let's go back to the Azure SQL. Here is my Azure SQL. Let's take a blank report. Let's take a blank report. Before that, my data is in Azure SQL. So Azure SQL connection we required, right? This is my Azure SQL server name, copy. Because when I try to get the data in Power BI, more sources, data is in Azure, data is in the Azure SQL database. Click on continue. It will ask me, what is your server name? My server name. Click on continue. What is your database name? What is your user ID? Password, it will ask all. The server name already connected with the user ID and password. That is what it now start, not asked, but it will ask you, okay? Click this one, the customer table, only one table we have, and start loading. So this is not a ETL tool, guys. Just we are bringing the data to display the reports. Power BI is not a ETL tool. It is just an analysis tool. That's it. This is just analysis tool. So data is ready. What data you want to show in the pie chart, line chart, however you want to display it. So you want to show in the graphs, show in the graphs. So I want to show two reports, which one report show me the revenue changes. Another report shows me the country wise revenue changes, and another report will show me the country wise their employee salaries, employees counts. So how much? Almost India region 19 employees, and here 18, level and 6. And if you see how much it is occupied, almost Canada is 6 employees, which is almost this revenue 2768. If I by mistakenly somebody started this package, if by mistakenly somebody again your colleague is started this package, what will happen? What will happen if somebody again it started by mistakenly? Almost 51 records are there. Again, there is a chance of data duplication. It's going to duplicate the data. Now what happened? Suddenly morning they saw this one, and immediately after 1 hour the data got duplicated. 6 plus 6 12. How come? Just 1 hour back I have seen 6 records. Now again my client will refresh the data. Now what happened? 12. What happened? 12 records. All are duplicated. 1938, 36, 22, and revenue also you can see it is got duplicated. What happened now? Data got duplicated. Who is the responsible? Client will started raising the tickets to this team. Now they don't know anything what is happening in the back end. They don't know the packages, they don't know the data pipeline, they don't know how it is happening back end, who is working on, who is a person. They don't know anything. They only know how to connect here, how to get the data. At rare cases, they will manually go and it will check in the database. If the data is duplicate, how it is duplicate, they don't know. So again, they'll need to contact the team. They need to check back in the packages, pipeline, how many times it is executed in a day, what was the logic. They don't know. So that is what nowadays mandatory is required is knowledge in ETL for reporting developers. For a data engineer developer, not required any analysis tool. So that is what we have in a data factory. In any ETL tool, we have a different loading process: full load, delta load, incremental load, and regular process load. There are different loading processes. You need to understand these methods. This is a basic regular process method. Here I simply change to delete from this table, whatever the table that we are using. Every day I'll truncate table and I'll reprocess it. Before loading the data, I'm truncating the process. So this process nothing but a full load process. So if I run 100 times also, there will be no change in the reports. because before loading the data, we are applying a full load process. Before loading the data, we are deleting and we are pre-processing the data. Okay. So what happened here? Just 1 second, guys. Okay. Again, if you go to the reporting, what will happen? It gets simply refresh. It will come in the original report, original values. Clear? So this is how we need to manage a different loading process. Different type of loading process we need to manage. So those loading process are full load, delta load, incremental, and different requirements we have. So this is your again SSIS ETL requirement, on-premises retail requirement, and this is your data factory requirement. In this requirement, you have different type of loading process again. Different transmissions, different components, different loading process, different deployments, automations, and case studies. Today, what we implemented a case studies, we implemented this module, moving the data from blob to Azure SQL. Like this, we have a different sources, different systems from where we need to get the data extractions, need to load and do the practice with a different transfer. Clear? Any questions, any doubts so far?